like many of you, I pre-ordered the Rivian R2 in March of 2024. So over 2 years later, they are finally delivering these things to customers. And listen, I am so excited to share that wait, what the fuck? Hold up, this isn't the Rivian R2. What's going on? Oh, you know what? This is the Polestar 4, baby. Buying the Polestar 4 is actually crazy because I've owned every battery electric vehicle that Polestar has ever sold. So in 2020, I leased the Polestar 2. 2025, I leased the Polestar 3. That ended up being a lemon. And so here I am today with the Polestar 4. And what's funny is before I bought the 3, I actually preferred the 4. I really wanted the 4, but they didn't sell them in the United States yet. So I settled for the 3 because the lease deal was pretty good at the time. So about the Rivian R2, I was fully prepared to buy one when it was my turn. But the timing of its release combined with these crazy incentives that Polestar is offering right now, I honestly would be stupid to not do what I did. Let me explain. The first reason I got the Polestar 4 instead of the R2 is timing. I pre-ordered the R2 on March 8th, which was a day after reservations opened. The only reason I forgot was, funny enough, I was in the process of purchasing the Polestar 3, and so I kind of just forgot about the R2 at the time. So the next day after reservations opened, I was like, fuck, let me pre-order. I thought I would be fine, right? Like March 8th, one day after the fact, I thought it'd be fine. So fast forward to this past June when Rivian starts announcing the deliveries and I wasn't receiving any emails. They were like, okay, by the end of June, everyone will know what their delivery window was. So I wait until the end of June. My delivery window, no, not even my delivery window, my order window was September through October. I checked my R2 reservation page while editing this video, and they actually moved my date forward a month. You know, it's just too little too late. And I think for Rivian at this point, every timing window that they provide customers, they're always delivering at the very end of that timing window. And so if I could order September to October, that really means end of October. It could take 4 to 8 weeks, up to 12 weeks if you choose the free Esker silver color. So worst case scenario, I wouldn't have received my R2 until January of 2027.
Please send it to me. Oh, now, please.
Polestar bought my 3 back this past March, so I've been without a car for just about 4 months. In Atlanta, in 100-degree weather. I actually bought an electric bicycle in December, but the built-in locking mechanism broke and it's stuck, so I can't even turn the back wheel. I finally got the part ordered and delivered so I can fix that myself. I'm gonna have to learn how to fix an e-bike. I've never repaired or maintained, not even a bicycle, let alone an electric bicycle, but I've been walking to the grocery store and all, like trying to run all my errands without a car. And luckily, you know, I'm single, I don't have any children. So as far as not having a car is concerned, it wasn't the end of the world for me. But 4 months in, I've got trips planned. I couldn't do it anymore. And I was not about to wait until January, worst case scenario, for the R2. The second reason I chose the Polestar 4 over the Rivian R2 is cost. So I wrote this down because it's pretty crazy. So just hear me out for a second. When I got online and started speccing the P4, I specced the dual motor with the Pilot and the Plus packs, the upgraded 21-inch wheels, black Napa leather, electrochromic roof, and lightning in the exterior color, which is just a boring gray, as these companies do. It was the only free color, which brought the MSRP to $76,800. If you subtract the $25,000 lease incentive that Polestar is offering right now on the 4, it brings that to $51,800. I also got $1,000 off additionally for being a former Polestar owner, which brought the total cost to $50,800. I was gonna put down $3,000, and with taxes and everything, it would have been about $7,000 out of pocket. No, excuse me, it was supposed to be $8,000 out of pocket, and the lease, $642 a month. So when I saw these prices, I was like, fuck, compared to the R2, which I will get to the R2's current lease pricing in a second. But I was looking at the cost, I was like, that's cheap. Like, not even like last month, this same spec would have been over $900 a month for a lease, for sure. And so midnight on July 3rd, I was doing a little building. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. And listen, I was really excited for not only having the R2 and being an early adopter, but also the Rivian fandom and the excitement. I love being a part of the newness and the culture of brand new electric vehicles. It happened with the Polestar 2. it happened with the Polestar 3. Maybe I'm just a Polestar fanboy at this point. Anyway, July 3rd I ordered. They require a $500 deposit, so I put the deposit down. On the 4th of July, which I assumed nothing would happen because it was a holiday, the homie Mark, who works at Polestar Atlanta, he hit me up right away and was like, hey, we actually have a different model in stock for immediate delivery if you want to just take that one. It literally is the same exact spec that you ordered, except it's white, which is a $1,300 option. We'll just give that to you for free. I was like, you know what? Fuck yeah. So they processed my application on the 4th of July, found out my credit score is 874. Thank you much. So on Monday, July 6th, I go to the Volvo dealership here to pick it up, and I was actually surprised at what was in front of me. The first surprise was that the interior, as you can see, is the white Nappa leather. It's not the black. I don't know if he just forgot to tell me. I don't know if it was just a mix-up or whatever the case is, but it's not a deal breaker. I just want leather seats because the leather seats in here have ventilation. I live in Atlanta. It is 99 degrees currently. I actually don't have the seat ventilation on right now. I probably should, but for noise sake, actually, I should probably turn off the AC. You know what? I don't give a fuck. If you can hear the AC, that's a you problem, not a me problem. So the white interior was the first surprise. I've had white in the Polestar 3. I really just wanted to switch it up with black, but you know, it's a nice contrast. I just worry about keeping them clean. I know they get a patina over time. So I just need to be more diligent about how to maintain and care for leather seats. The second surprise are the color matched moldings as well. So that is actually a $1,000 option, and I wasn't expecting that. So not only did I get the white paint for free, which cost $1,300, they also included the $1,000 color match moldings as well. So when you factor in these two free paint options, the MSRP jumps to $79,100, or again, with all these incentives and free stuff, $53,100. And my payment is still $642 a month, 12,000 miles a year, 27-month lease. Let's talk about the R2 launch edition pricing for a second. So again, I was gonna get the launch edition R2 performance launch package, which includes autonomy plus, towing package, the green key fob, and what was the other thing? Oh, the opportunity to purchase launch green as a color. So with about the same amount down, it was $3,500 down on the R2, 24-month lease, I would have been paying just about the same amount out of pocket up front. The monthly lease is $1,001. I need to be more fiscally responsible. If you've been following me for a while, I made a video, gosh, almost 2 years ago now, about quitting my corporate job because of racism. And so the money that I'm bringing in is not the same type of money that I was bringing in then, not even close. So I need to be really cognizant of that. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, when I went to actually sign the papers for the Polestar 4, it ended up being $1,500 less upfront than I was anticipating also. The money that I'm saving total leasing this compared to the R2 is just over $8,600 over 2 years. And listen, I understand that the demand for the Rivian R2 is extremely high. They can charge whatever they want to. People are absolutely going to and paying it currently. But for me, from a cost standpoint, it just didn't make sense. And it's honestly crazy that this Polestar ban actually really benefited me in the long term. And I want to take a moment to talk about the features compared to cost. And listen, I know that the Polestar 4's MSRP is $21,000 more than the Rivian R2, but with these incentives, it's actually a couple $1,000s cheaper than the Rivian R2. So let's talk about features for a second. So this baby has the electrochromic roof. It has a punchier 16 speaker, 1400 watt Harman Kardon surround sound system compared to the Rivian's 975 watt 13 speaker system, which I test drove the R2 in Chicago. It needs more bass. I think it's okay. I rate it a 6 out of 10. I would rate this like a 7.5. It is not the Bowers & Wilkins 20 something speaker, 1800 watt, whatever it is, sound system that I had in the 3. It definitely isn't the same, but I think it's better than the Rivian R2 sound system. In this, you get mirrors that tilt down on reverse, which, quick disclaimer, there was a guy on Twitter a month or two ago who went to an R2 block party and he was scrolling through the software and it showed tilt down mirrors on reverse for the R2, but in the production version, it does not have tilt down mirrors on reverse. So I'm thinking that the software that was uploaded at the block party was just like a dummy R1 software. So if you were buying a Rivian R2 expecting tilt down mirrors, you might be disappointed. Obviously, both this car and the R2 have incredible surround view cameras that show the curb view for parallel parking. I think that's great. That is actually enough for me. I wouldn't actually need the tilt down mirrors, but I don't know. For some reason, when it comes to parallel parking, I just prefer looking at the curb through the mirror to know how close I am. And that is something that you can't get with the R2. This also has massaging front seats, reclining rear seats, digital rear view mirror, head-up display, a foot sensor that opens the tailgate, and high-end cabin filtration if that's your thing. For the Rivian R2, it has some really cool features that this doesn't have. Example, the rear window that goes down, the dedicated bottle holder in the door, there's more cargo space. The pixel LED headlights on the R2 actually individually block out pixels for oncoming traffic. The Polestar 4 in other markets has that as well. It used to be like a regulatory thing in the United States, but I think that's been lifted. So it would really, I think, just be a software update from Polestar. I'm pretty sure that it has the technology still. I don't think that they would have changed the headlight assembly just for the US market. I could be wrong, but I'm hoping that that's something that will come to this. But currently the Rivian has pixel LED headlights. The R2 has better EPA range with the 21-inch all-season tires, 330 compared to this is 280. R2 has higher ground clearance at 9.8 inches compared to this, which is 6.5. A frunk that is openable from the outside and a usable frunk because the frunk in here is laughable. The haptic halo wheels, which some people are finding those to be a nuisance. I think it's cool. I also found it to be kind of a nuisance when I test drove it, but you know, it's new and refreshing. And as I said earlier, the launch edition R2 comes with all these features, including Autonomy Plus for the life of the car, so hands-off driving, as well as the tow package, which this does not have either of those. This has Volvo's Pilot Assist, which is hands-on highway assist. It's not as great, nor is it going to drive me from point A to point B, but that's not necessarily a feature that I need. And lastly, Rivian and the R2 have a stable future maintenance warranty community network. Considering these can't be sold in the United States after 2027, it's hard to say, like, in a year from now if I need service. I think there's a lot of fear for owners and non-owners of what's going to happen at that time for us. And listen, the R2 and the Polestar 4 both have really enticing features depending on what you want. I just think that this competitive pricing under this 2027 United States Polestar ban is really going to start stealing prospective customers away from Rivian and bringing them over to Polestar. For those of you watching with an R2 reservation, are you considering taking advantage of these Polestar incentives, or are you afraid of getting fiskered in the future considering the state or the unknown state of Polestar in the United States? Can I say state anymore? Let me know in the comments what you want to see below. I'm thinking of making a video either in depth of all the features. I might do a funny, quirky one, just kind of highlighting some of my favorite features and things that surprised me. I intend on also making a casual range test video because I don't really drive, like, I have to drive on the highway here locally because that's just how Atlanta is laid out, but I don't really drive, like, I don't take too many road trips. And so I would rather do like a mixed driving range review over the course of a week or 2 weeks so you can see how long the battery lasts considering like battery drain. This actually doesn't have battery drain compared to the Polestar 3, which is amazing. I'll talk about that in a future video, but let me know in the comments what you want to know more of. Let me know if you have questions about the Polestar 4 or Polestars in general, considering I've owned every single one except for the Polestar 1. I've owned every single electric Polestar. I wonder if I'm the first person in the world to own every full battery electric Polestar. Polestar, if you're watching this, if you want to, you know, honor me, celebrate me, if you want to pay off the rest of this lease, listen. Look at this face. Wouldn't be mad at ya. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Consider scanning the QR code in the corner to support me in this channel. Subscribe. Love you. See you soon, babes.